I never thought my life would fall apart in a single afternoon. 3 years ago, I had what I believed was a perfect life. I was 31, working a stable job as a software developer, and married to the woman I loved more than anything. Her name was Emily. We had been together for almost 8 years. We met in college, fell in love quickly, and after graduation we moved into a small apartment together. Back then we had nothing. No money. No fancy cars. Just cheap furniture, instant noodles, and big dreams. But honestly, those were some of the happiest days of my life. Emily used to say something to me all the time. She would smile and say, "Even if we stay poor forever, I'll always choose you." And I believed her. I really did. For years we supported each other. When she struggled in school, I helped her study. When I lost my first job, she worked overtime to help us survive. Eventually things started improving. I got a better job at a tech company. The pay wasn't amazing, but it was enough to move into a decent apartment. Emily started working in marketing. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. Or at least, I thought we were. Looking back now, I realize the signs were always there. At first it started small. Emily began spending more time on social media. She followed influencers, celebrities, and people living luxury lifestyles. Expensive vacations. Designer clothes. Luxury cars. And slowly, she started comparing our life to theirs. One night while scrolling through her phone, she sighed and said, "Do you ever feel like we're falling behind in life?" I laughed and said, "Behind who?" She showed me an Instagram post. It was one of her college friends posing next to a Lamborghini. "Look at them," she said. "They're already successful." I shrugged. Social media isn't real life. But Emily didn't laugh. She just stared at the screen. And that was the moment things started changing. Over the next year, Emily became more distant. She complained about our apartment. She complained about my car. She complained about our vacations. Suddenly nothing was good enough anymore. One night during dinner she asked me a question that caught me completely off guard. "Why don't you try starting a business?" I looked at her confused. "I like my job. But you could make more money." "I'm comfortable." She shook her head. "Comfortable isn't successful." That sentence stuck with me. Comfortable isn't successful. I didn't know it at the time, but Emily had already started drifting away from me. And then one night everything changed. It was a Friday evening. I had just come home from work. Emily was sitting on the couch with her suitcase. At first I thought she was leaving for a trip. But then I noticed something strange. Her eyes were cold. Emotionless. "Where are you going?" I asked. She took a deep breath. "We need to talk." My stomach dropped immediately. You know that feeling when your brain suddenly realizes something terrible is about to happen? That's exactly how I felt. Emily looked straight at me and said something I will never forget. "I'm leaving you." The room went silent. I honestly thought she was joking. "What?" "I'm serious." "Why?" Her answer destroyed me. "Because I deserve more." More. I remember laughing. Not because it was funny. But because my brain couldn't process what she was saying. More what? More success. More money. More life. I stared at her in disbelief. "Emily, we're married." "I know." And what?" She looked at me like I was the stupid one. "You're not ambitious. You're not successful. And I don't want to waste my life waiting for you to become something." That sentence hit me like a truck. 8 years together. And suddenly I was just not enough. I asked the obvious question. Is there someone else? Emily hesitated for a second. Then she said something that shattered whatever was left of my heart. Yes. His name was Daniel. A wealthy entrepreneur she had met at a marketing event. According to her, he owned multiple businesses and drove a Ferrari. They had only known each other for 3 months. 3 months. And she was leaving her husband of 8 years for him. I couldn't believe it. Emily, you're throwing away our entire life. She shook her head. No. I'm upgrading it. Those words still haunt me to this day. Upgrading. Like I was just an old phone she wanted to replace. Before leaving, she said one final thing. Daniel is picking me up. And as if the universe wanted to make the moment even more humiliating. I heard it. The sound of an expensive engine outside. Through the window I saw a bright red sports car. Emily grabbed her suitcase. She didn't cry. She didn't hug me. She didn't even say sorry. She just walked out the door. And just like that, 8 years of my life were gone. That night was the worst night of my life. I sat alone in our apartment staring at the empty space where her things used to be. The silence was unbearable. I kept replaying everything in my head. What did I do wrong? Was I not successful enough? Was I too comfortable? Was I too boring? For weeks I barely slept. I barely ate. The woman I loved had replaced me with a richer man. And honestly, it destroyed my confidence. But little did I know. That was only the beginning of the story. Because 3 years later, Emily would show up at my door again. And when she did, her life looked very different. 3 years passed. And in those 3 years, my life changed completely. At first, the loneliness was unbearable. The apartment felt empty. Everything reminded me of Emily. Our couch. Our kitchen. Even the stupid coffee mugs we bought together. For months, I felt like a complete failure. But eventually something inside me changed. Instead of feeling sorry for myself, I decided to improve my life. I started focusing on my career. I worked overtime. I learned new programming languages. I took online courses. I stopped thinking about Emily and started thinking about my future. And slowly, things began to change. Within a year I got promoted at work. Then another opportunity appeared. A startup company offered me a senior developer position. The salary was almost double what I was earning before. For the first time in a long time, I felt proud of myself again. I moved into a better apartment. Bought a newer car. Started going to the gym. My confidence slowly returned. And the funny thing is, the moment I stopped caring about Emily, my life started improving. But sometimes life has a strange sense of humor. Because exactly 3 years after she left, something unexpected happened. It was a quiet Sunday evening. I was sitting on my couch watching TV. Then suddenly, someone knocked on my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, my heart almost stopped. Standing in front of me was Emily. But she looked completely different. The confident woman who once left me for a rich man was gone. Her hair was messy. Her clothes looked cheap. And her eyes looked tired. For a moment we just stared at each other in silence. Finally she spoke. Hi. It was the first time I had heard her voice in 3 years. I didn't know what to say. So I asked the obvious question. What are you doing here? Emily looked down at the floor. Can we talk? Every instinct in my body told me to close the door. But curiosity won. So I let her inside. She looked around my apartment. It was bigger than the one we used to share. Nicer furniture. Better TV. You could tell she noticed. For a moment she said nothing. Then she whispered something I never expected to hear. I made a mistake. 3 years ago, those words would have meant everything to me. But now? They felt empty. I crossed my arms. What happened to Daniel? Emily sighed. And that's when the truth started coming out. At first everything with Daniel seemed perfect. Luxury restaurants. Expensive vacations. Designer clothes. He bought her everything she ever dreamed of. For the first few months, she thought she had made the best decision of her life. But eventually she realized something. Daniel wasn't the charming, successful man she thought he was. He was arrogant, controlling, and extremely manipulative. According to Emily, he constantly reminded her that everything she had came from him. If it wasn't for me, you'd still be living in that tiny apartment with your boring husband. Those were his words. And apparently, things only got worse. Daniel started cheating on her. Openly. He didn't even try to hide it. When Emily confronted him, he laughed. You should be grateful you're here at all. Eventually their relationship became toxic. Arguments. Jealousy. Constant fighting. But Emily stayed. Because she didn't want to admit she made a mistake. Then one day something unexpected happened. Daniel's business collapsed. One of his companies went bankrupt. Then another. And suddenly, the luxury lifestyle disappeared. The fancy cars were gone. The expensive trips stopped. And once the money disappeared, Daniel changed completely. He became angry, bitter, aggressive. According to Emily, he blamed her for everything. You're bad luck. One night after a huge argument, Daniel kicked her out. Just like that. No apology. No second chance. The same way she had left me. Now she was the one standing outside with nowhere to go. Emily finished telling her story. Then she looked at me with tears in her eyes. I didn't realize what I lost until it was gone. The room was silent. I felt something strange in that moment. 3 years ago, I would have done anything to hear those words. But now, I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just distance. Emily walked closer to me. I know I don't deserve it, but can we try again? For a moment I didn't respond. Instead I thought about everything that happened. The night she left. The way she called my life an upgrade. The way she replaced 8 years of love with 3 months of excitement. Then I gave her my answer. No. Emily looked shocked. What? No. You made your choice 3 years ago. Her eyes filled with tears. But people make mistakes. Yes, I said calmly. They do. But that doesn't mean they get a second chance. She started crying. I was stupid. I know. I didn't appreciate you. I know. Please, we can fix this. I shook my head. You didn't leave because we had problems. You left because someone richer came along. She didn't respond. Because we both knew it was true. Then I said something that finally ended the conversation. I hope you find happiness, Emily. But it won't be with me. For a moment she stood there silently. Then she slowly walked toward the door. Before leaving, she turned around one last time. You've changed. I smiled slightly. Yes. I have. And with that, she walked out of my life for the second time. But this time, I didn't feel broken. I felt free. Because sometimes karma doesn't come with revenge. Sometimes karma simply means watching someone realize they lost the best thing they ever had. And by the time they understand it, it's already too late. And that's the end of today's story. Honestly, situations like this really make you think. Was Emily truly sorry for what she did, or did she only come back because her life fell apart? What would you do if you were in this situation? Would you give her a second chance, or would you walk away forever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoy stories like this from Reddit, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more crazy and dramatic stories just like this. Trust me, the next story might be even more shocking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.